In today's video, I wanted to respond to and give my opinion on the topic that a lot of people like to say about veganism. A lot of more cheery vegans will say in regards to veganism is basically like by reducing our meat, by going vegan, we're making the world a better place. I heavily disagree with this as somebody that's been vegan for going on 6 years now in just a couple months. I think that by being vegan, we're not making the world a better place. We're not doing anything in regards to making the world a better place. We're simply just not doing what's obviously cruel to the animals, what's obviously harming the planet when we look into it. We're just not doing what's wrong. It's kind of like when I don't go shoot people, you don't tell me like, dang, Austin, like you're such a good person for not shooting somebody today. It's like, no, you just expect that of me, right? Well, I don't see why we pat people on the back for not eating meat or cutting back on the eating meat. I know that it's different from the social norm today, but the social norm does not dictate the moral norm. And the reason I don't congratulate people every day, like when I don't call up my dad to say, hey, Dad, I'm just so glad you didn't kill somebody today. Hey, little sis, I'm so glad you didn't kill somebody today. I don't really talk about those things to them because they don't even cross my mind. I just expect them to do those, and if they didn't do that, that would shock me. Now, obviously, in today's culture, it doesn't really shock me when people that would not claim to be animal abusers go and pay people to abuse animals. That doesn't shock me. That's after 6 years of being vegan, it's kind of like you just become pretty like comfortable that like, yeah, this is the way people are. A lot of people are really like weird in their ideologies about why they do the things they do, and this is just the way it is. But so in summary to the whole thing of what my opinion is on this is, by being vegan, we're not doing anything good for the world. By reducing meat, we're certainly not doing anything good for the world. In fact, by reducing meat, that sounds like you still are buying meat, so you're still doing something very bad to the world, and especially the animals that you're eating, the innocent animals' bodies. So you're definitely not doing anything good by reducing your animal consumption. You're not doing anything good by going vegetarian, vegan, none of that. Now, to get into the ending of this video, to kind of end on a more positive note, and how I like to be positive where it serves utility to be positive, rather than this whole patting people on the back for things they shouldn't be patted on the back for. Like, like cutting back on rape. Like we wouldn't pat people on the back for that. So how can we make the world a better place? What's a good way that we could actually go about trying to make this world a better place? Now, first of all, you could go and try to risk being judged and ridiculed by being that preachy vegan that talks about the logical facts about veganism and why it's objectively immoral to harm animals when you know you don't need to be healthy, and you're choosing to for the pursuit of pleasure. It's objectively immoral in that situation to eat animals. So when you risk being judged by going out and talking about that, by speaking up for these animals that most people are too not smart to be able to comprehend their language and their obvious signs of suffering and disagreements with how we're treating them, or they're just so psychopathic that they don't care that they're causing immense suffering to hundreds to, if not thousands, of animals per year in the pursuit of their taste pleasure. So that would be one method. You could speak up for the animals. Another method you could do is, let's see here. I mean, we could talk about going out of our way to actually improve people's lives or animals' lives. So you talk about like go rescue a dog from being murdered in a shelter. because some idiot was breeding them and didn't breed them in a way that was profitable enough. He didn't breed the right litter of dogs that time, so he just threw them in the dumpster and they ended up in some shelter. Why don't you go rescue one of those dogs and then make it your mission for the next 5 to 15 years for that dog to give them the best life a dog could possibly have in any way that you can possibly grasp your head around, trying to give that dog a good life. Another way you could think about doing these things is, just simply donate to people that help animals. Donate to a sanctuary that helps the victims of the animal abuse holocaust that's going on. Go volunteer time at one of these sanctuaries to try to help them on their land, to try to, expand or maintain land so that they can give these animals what they need on this land. To go, give a homeless man a bottle of water instead of some money that he's going to go buy drugs with. If you see a homeless man with a dog on the side of the street, go, if you got some dog food in your car because you got a dog like me. I'm just kind of listing things that I do on a regular basis, but it's and I'm not trying to virtue signal. I'm not trying to say I'm such a great person, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I think I'm a piece of shit. I just think that a lot of people in this world choose to be bigger pieces of shit than me. I still don't think I'm making the world a better place by existing. I'm just using my existence here to make an effort to at least try to leave a positive impact on this place, rather than being a statistic of humans, which is just the average, which will just leave a negative impact and cause immense suffering for everybody else we have to share this planet with. So, it starts as simply just thinking about these things and going vegan, thinking about what our actions do to others, the obviously and extremely cruel things that happen to others on behalf of our choices, in a lot of cases simply for the pursuit of pleasure, habit, or tradition. And start realizing that those animals, those thousands of animals you kill each year, or hundreds of animals if you eat less meat and dairy and eggs and fish every year, put those hundreds to 1,000 animals above your taste pleasure and start, just not being so cruel to others. That's how you stop and bring to a halt, at least to the best of your ability, your causing of unnecessary suffering. Now go make it your mission with your free time that you're not using to, obviously we have to sustain ourselves, we have to have jobs, we have to pay the bills. But a lot of us have free time, and use that hour a day of free time to maybe now you can go educate people about veganism now that you've woken up to this more obviously moral lifestyle. Now go tell people about how they don't need to eat this for their health. This is what happens to these animals to make these products, and they are responsible for everything that happens. Because I guarantee you, if you show most meat eaters what happens to animals to make their food, a lot of them will take you down this route of it doesn't have to be that way. We should treat them better. We should blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we should not be killing any animals for any reason other than if we absolutely have to survive. And the only reason I can genuinely think of for 99% of humans on this planet in 2021 and going forward to ever need to eat animals, I guess there'd be 2 reasons that we'd need to kill and eat animals. If there was a damn ice age, then we'd need to kill and eat them. Or if they were imposing a threat on our life and we could do nothing to escape this animal, then at that point maybe you defend your life by taking the other animal's life. But other than that, I just don't understand how you can argue that you want to put this animal on this perfect little pasture and you're going to, make this unrealistically unscalable process of farming. It's like people are appealing to this old school. It's like the reason we have these factory farms is because you guys aren't willing to pay the price that it takes for that. You guys aren't willing to buy the land that it takes to give them this life that's perfect for them up until they're a fraction of their average lifespan, and you send them to a slaughterhouse where it's like, I mean, like, that's where it all comes down. It's like, we can have this debate about, let's give them a perfect life, but then let's skip even showing them what their life was like up until they get to the slaughterhouse. Not even on the trailer all the way for the 2 days that they're traveling to the slaughterhouse from the farm. Let's talk about just what they experience in that slaughterhouse. There's no way to process and holocaust billions of animals that's going to be nice. There's no way to sustainably pay humans enough money to where they're going to patiently kill billions of animals like they aren't just a product on the shelf, soon to be. So the only way around this, my people, is to stop paying for it. If you're opposed to it, you stop supporting it. You don't talk about how we should do these different lifestyle, 1800s farming off the land. Look, none of this is natural. These animals are unnatural. They suffer inherently by the second that they're born, just by the fact that they haven't been bred for survival. They've been bred for food. They've been bred to produce at the most efficient rate, and that usually comes at the consequence of a lot of health issues for these animals. So there's no way to exist for these animals that isn't unnecessarily full of suffering. There's no reason we should bring animals into existence. We shouldn't be breeding anybody into existence. We could even argue about humans being bred into existence at this point. And I know that most of it's done accidentally, but we might want to start talking about that. But for certainly, without getting too off topic, we definitely need to look into stopping our breeding of animals if we simply want to call ourselves not evil pieces of shit. And then we can talk about going and looking about calling ourselves people that make this world a better place.